What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? Everybody get in here. We are live with the Tribe of Dope Black Women. It is Wednesday, so you already know what's up. Let's get in the room. Let's talk, guys. Let's talk. Y'all come on in the room. Let's get in here, have some conversations. Tonight's Tribal Council is brought to you by the Mindfully Fashion app. Be sure to download it today. And with that in mind, I'm going to bring up the creator of the Mindfully Fashion app, Miss Shaquia Harris. Excuse me, Dr. Shaquia Harris. It is Women's History Month. We're going to put some respect on that PhD. What's up, sis? How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. Tell everybody a little bit about the Mindfully Fashion app, because I've been talking about it for a little while and they may not quite know what it is. So tell everybody what it is and why they need to download it today.
Okay. So the Mindfully Fashioned app is an app that is focused around faith, mental health, and I guess I would say holistic care. So the app provides a daily scripture, as well as a weekly mind mending moment. That's the mental health component, as well as a monthly curating tip where I will give either skincare, fashion, saving tips, because I believe in order for us to be holistically healthy, we have to hit all of those components, because we are not just one facet. We are multifaceted beings. And so with this app, I'm hoping that I will assist in a normalization of mental health in the African American community. I want it to be common for people to talk about mental health in their day-to-day dialogues.
And I love that. I absolutely love that. As we said, Dr. Shaquia Harris is a counselor, education professor, and the creator of this amazing app. It's available on both platforms, right? Android and Apple?
Google Play, as well as the Apple App Store.
Nice. Y'all download the app today. I promise you. Listen, that app gets my life together, not just in the morning for my scripture, but also for those mind-bending moments and curating different tips, like everything you need. And I don't think you mentioned that amazing bonus piece that you got in there, Queen. You got to tell them what I'm talking about with the therapy piece.
Where are you? You're meaning where you can go in the under the mental health resources, and there are tabs that you can click, and it will take you to directories for you to find your counselor. So a lot of times I get questions about counselors, but I have that within the app where you can search whether if you want to focus in on African American counselors, it's therapy for Black girls. However, you can find not just female therapists within her directory. Well, yes, it is within her directory, but also on the psych.com directory, you can find multiple therapists, no matter gender, race, or ethnicity.
I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Thank you for creating such an amazing resource for us, Quia. I love it. And I'm so very proud of you, friend. Like, she is making history. So what a way to start Women's History Month with our first tribal council, honoring a woman, a dope Black woman who's making history. Thank you, sis. Y'all, let's welcome the rest of the tribe to the council tonight. We've got our in-house attorney, Tamika Bennett. How are you, Mika?
Very sleepy.
Okay.
It's the honesty for me, sis. Yes, very sleepy. I love it. Thank you so much, Mika. How's it been going this week? Good.
Yeah, it's good, but busy.
You've been pimping them Girl Scout cookies too. See, you got your Girl Scout green on tonight.
Yeah, I do.
You know, I was a former Girl Scout. Yes. So I had to rep for the Girl Scouts. So very proud of you. Tell my babies I said I'm proud of them. What'd you say, Queen?
I was a brownie troop leader.
Yes. We got to bring on the McKee Sykes of Wake, Pray, Create. How are you, McKee? Welcome back to the tribe. This is our in-house organizer, y'all. Y'all not ready. Y'all not ready for McKee? She will get you all the way together. She has been sharing some amazing tips. We're going to highlight her next week, and she's going to tell you all about what it is that she does. Thank you for joining us again, McKee. We
Thanks for
got my
having me.
girl Deidre awake this week, y'all. She up. Hey, Dee.
Hello, good evening. Good evening, everyone.
The Deidre Willis, certified financial planner. And what's the most recent accolade you got, Dee? Because you know we got to shout you out, boo. Tell everybody who you are and how you represent in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Hello, everyone. I am representing the world. Let me just first say that. Okay. So I reside in Charlotte, North Carolina, but I have the pleasure of being highlighted as one of the 2021 women in business here locally in Charlotte, where they only highlight 25. So it's an honor to serve. And when you serve, you are served well yourself. So I'm excited about that.
I love it. I'm so proud of you, D. Y'all, kudos to D. We proud of you,
you,
sis. Yes. And last but certainly not least, we have the DeBlair Fitness owner and CEO of 8 Figure. Are you ready for DeBlair Fitness tonight, y'all? What's up, Blair? How are you?
I got Tamika's energy tonight.
I'm not saying you're tired.
I literally just woke up. It's been a long week, but I'm here. Hey, y'all.
Listen, I'm so grateful to have all of you here on the tribe tonight. And it's just an honor just to be able to share this space with y'all. Like, this is the highlight of my week. I am so blessed to be able to spend this time with you. So we're going to get right into it. Are y'all ready to get talking tonight? We got to start with the top of America right now, which is Mississippi and Texas. God, dog. What's going on in Mississippi? Over half of our tribe is located in Mississippi. What's going on, guys? They lifted the ban. They lifted the mask mandate both in Mississippi and Texas. We're gonna focus on Mississippi for a little bit because not only did they lift it, they opened everything up to full capacity today. Is that correct?
Yeah. Not exactly.
Okay. Tell me about it, Mika. Correct me, because I don't want to be wrong and spread misinformation, because it's already bad enough that the mask mandate has been lifted.
I believe it's 25% capacity on indoor events and it's 50% capacity on outdoor. But I don't think that applies to collegiate sports. So a lot of things are open, but a lot of things are not. Basically, the design is to let private citizens and businesses decide what they want to do. To be quite frank, most people have not been adhering to the mask mandate anyway, which is fortunate. A lot of lounges and night gathering spots are open where people are not wearing masks. The staff that work there wears masks, but not the patrons. And so basically, he just made it to what's already going on anyway, unfortunately.
He just made it official as far as making it, you're not breaking any rules or being a nuisance by not following a rule that's put in place. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, but they really couldn't enforce the rules anyway. Like
wow.
When you tell me to do something, for the most part, a rule, I'm going to follow the rule. I've always been like that. That's just how I am. But it's just like, everybody knows, like, I got 3 kids. One of my kids will follow the rules. The other one going to be like, hold on. It's a rule, but that may not apply to me. And then there's one that just don't care. So the thing is that, it's some people in society that's going to say, I'm doing this for the benefit of everybody. And then there's going to be another set that's going to say, it don't really affect me. And then there's going to be one that's just going to say, I don't care.
I get it. It's crazy because I think about that, and here in Florida, it's been kind of interesting. You got those people who refuse to wear their mask and they'll go in the grocery store. And I haven't really gone anywhere because I just don't want to take that chance. I don't want to be sick. I haven't been sick in a year now. I want to stay healthy. I want my children to stay healthy. I want other people to stay healthy. And I look at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I don't feel that comfortable with a disease that's so unknown. That's my personal preferences. I understand other people have their personal preferences too, but it amazes me that we're talking about over 500,000 people are dead.
Mm.
Like, it's clear that this virus is nothing to play with. We're not talking about 1,000 people dying. We're talking about 500,000. That's a lot of people to be affected by something or anything. So when we think about that, it seems just so negligent to operate in that fashion. Like, I understand being a person that questions the rules, and I don't always want to follow the rules, but at the same time, I don't want to put myself or anybody else in danger. And it's like, what the hell? Like, what are you doing? What are you thinking about? Like, we need more people making good decisions. And now they're talking about new variants of the virus and it becoming like, it's already a super virus. Now it's becoming this mega, like, it's crazy. And it's like, what are you thinking about? What are you doing? Why are you making these kind of choices? This doesn't make any sense, you know?
It's a
So
complete disregard. It's just a complete disregard for the facts and for science, just in general. I mean, some people, everybody doesn't learn by seeing other people suffer. Sometimes they learn by until it happens actually to them or to someone that's very close to them. And some people that I know, they've had several family members that have been on ventilators and everything, and they still are just like, only 1% of the population dies. You know, if it's my time, it's my time.
Mm.
yeah, no. I can't even rock with that on any level. To me, that's crazy, but to each and every one their own. I'm appalled by it because I feel like we're still in the height of everything. So it doesn't make any sense. But I also feel like it's a move knowing that we're getting close to spring break. And it's like, hey, we need people to be out there boosting the economy and making sure that it doesn't tank. Let's make sure that people feel a little more comfortable being free. Let them go wild. Let them do what they want to do. That's what it feels like.
Well, you know,
But I think that even
it seems so premature that this decision is made because of the announcement that by said date, you know, everybody can be vaccinated. Now, what I do understand for Mississippi specifically, that city leaders are still in control whether or not they mandate masks and different things of that sort. And so far, you know, I've seen a lot of responses to where they're going to still follow that protocol. And I think it's just going to afford businesses the opportunity to operate back, you know, from a business standpoint. But it is a bit irresponsible to go ahead and move forward and not have a sense of regard for everyone, you know, essentially. Even if you have the vaccine, you still can get COVID. You know, you still just got to be careful.
Absolutely. McKee?
Yeah, I was just going to say that, you know, even with this vaccination, I think people kind of feel like, oh, this is a cure. And that, you know, once you get vaccinated, then everything is okay and you can go back to life as normal. But, you know, a lot of scientists like Dr. Fauci, the CDC have still encouraged that even after you get the vaccine, that you still practice social distancing, that you still wear your mask, and that even though we have this vaccine in place, we still don't know how long this vaccine will last, how, you know, how it affects people and things like that. So we're still very much in the learning stages of this virus. I think that a lot of leaders just kind of feel like, oh, well, there's a vaccine in place. We can start, you know, lifting mandates and, you know, people can go back to normal. No, we are still very much in this virus. Like, we're not, you know, I don't know if the finish line is, if we can see the finish line or not, but we're definitely not at the finish line. And when you go and make these types of decisions where it not only impacts you, but it impacts so many people, you're just pushing the finish line further back, further away, if that makes sense. Because if you go and open up the state and everybody hasn't been vaccinated, then people are gonna, you know, break the rules. Well, not break the rules, but, you know, do what they want to do, and you're gonna have spikes again. So it's just kind of like, you know, I understand that businesses are suffering. My heart goes out to them. But I think also at the same time, if you would just do the right thing and had been doing it all along, I think we would have been much further along in this process than what we are.
Exactly. There are parts of the world that are not experiencing it in this way because they were being responsible with what they were doing. And I'm like you, I agree. I hate that it's affecting especially small businesses in the way that's affecting them, but we have to make much smarter decisions about what it is that we're doing, because right now it's so irresponsible. We're looking
very
at
reckless.
what it's doing, and it's completely setting us back. And we're still in a position where this thing is not over. They talked about the numbers decreasing in Texas and Mississippi, but I was like, hold on, pause. Houseway. Everybody was stuck in the house for a solid week in both states. So who got tested when testing centers weren't even open?
Yeah.
Like, your numbers dropped because no one got a test. Your numbers dropped because no one was able to get access to that. That makes no sense.
You know, no one is excited to be in the house because of
Right.
COVID.
Except for introverts. Some of the introverts are totally cool with it. So I get it.
I've enjoyed my time. However, I do think that we've already let our guards down just a little bit.
Yeah.
And we can't be too careful to still protect ourselves. So, you know, maneuver, do what we have to do. But I think the guards have already been let down to some degree.
Absolutely. What do you think, DeBlair? What's your thoughts on it?
I was really shocked that it happened, but I expected it, because I feel like America is not a country, it's a business. So everything is about pretty much like running business. Because when Greg Abbott was talking, he was talking about, you know, business owners this, business owners that. So they pretty much care about the profit, not the people. So that is pretty much how I feel about it, because it's cash rules the world. You know, you don't care about people dying, family members dying. I've had people to pass away, which at this point they're talking about the fourth wave coming. And what about the first wave? The first wave is still killing people. So what's your motivating factor behind it? You're just putting personal responsibility on people, when at the end of the day, when you mandated it, people were still not doing what they were supposed to be doing. I think that I wanted it to happen because I'm not a fan of wearing masks. But at the end of the day, when something is life or death, I think that you should look at the bigger picture instead of trying to keep an economy. You're trying to prevent us from going into some type of economic depression or whatever the case may be. But you're putting like business minds in front of people's livelihood. So I'm just really not a fan of it. And I just think it's a bad move, period.
Yeah, it's definitely scary. You know, I was actually getting hopeful with there being a vaccine and saying, you know what, I'm gonna be able to go kick it with my mom. Maybe she could travel, come back and see me. And now I'm like, I can't be putting her on a plane with a bunch of people who are not going to be masked up, who are not going to be making responsible decisions, and then put her in danger.
The planes and the airports and the planes are still controlled by the feds.
Right, they can regulate that.
Yeah, they can't regulate it, but I still hope that the vaccine just came out. I will be the first to say I declined it right now, because I want to see how many other people grow horns. But I'm it's just like anything else. And I'll use a simple example like an iPhone or whatever technology. There's always glitches that you have to fix prior to it coming out. And me with a pre-existing condition, it was just a red flag that my mom got it. She said she did, but I just kind of want to wait and see. But I think that with the vaccine just coming out, it should probably wait a little longer. Like the vaccine came out, give people time to take the vaccine, give the numbers time to see what they're going to do before you do it. And even if you lift it, like don't lift it 100%. You just like went cold turkey. You just said F it. Because from what I read, Tamika, with the businesses and things like that, they're allowing them to 100% act just like normal. So it's no more, hey, we got to do social distancing. You can bring as many people in there as you can. People can be coughing and doing all that, like right there next to your table. So,
but that's a part of your own personal responsibility too. If you know that a restaurant is not social distancing, why would you go in there? Why would you sit down in there?
I think that makes sense. That makes sense, but you have a lot of people that just don't think that way. You see, you know, unfortunately, like me and my husband, we have not sat down in a restaurant in over a year to eat. I miss going out to restaurants, but we just know that it's not responsible. But you just have people that just don't care, who, you know, you telling them, oh, hey, I can do it. I'm going to go do it. You know, I'm not gonna get in trouble about it. Well, wherever the chips may fall, let them fall. You know, for
You know what?
me,
We have to get out of that mindset though. Just because you can do something doesn't mean
Yes.
you should do it. Like, that doesn't make sense. I'm totally with you, Mika. Like, if you see people, like, I passed by a restaurant the other night along the beach. And when I tell you, there were like so many people there. When I say so many people, like, there was not an empty table. I know the tables were not 6 feet apart. Nobody had on a mask. Everybody was not eating. So there was no excuse. I was like, my mind was blown. My daughter looked, she said, they just don't even care about COVID, do they? I said, clearly they don't, baby, which is why we're just riding around passing time for the sake of passing time. We like to people watch and see what's going on. I'm blown away because I'm like, now we've had a crazy amount of cases here in South Florida because we constantly get everybody visiting, everybody coming to hang out. This is like the hangout spot. It has not been closed ever. I think we were closed for Labor Day or something like that. We're only closed on holidays because they don't want to have people come in at that time. But every other week we're open. So when the world got shut down, people were like, well, let's just go to Florida, hang out there. Bring all the COVID to the South. Maybe the heat will kill it. No, it's not cool. It has been nuts. And I'm going, I will stay in this house as long as I can because I don't want this. I don't want any parts of it. I've seen what it's done. I've lost friends and family members. I've experienced the devastation, and it's still hard to even wrap your mind around because I didn't even get to attend a funeral service for him. You know,
same here.
It's insane. So I listen to people who are gung-ho about it, and I'm like, you really seem to think you're invincible and that it's not going to affect you.
I think I was comfortable.
Crazy.
I was okay. So I was okay because I was ready for normalcy. I was ready to accept that this was the new normal and that I respected people that did not want to go out and sit at restaurants or whatever the case may be. But I felt comfortable knowing that people were actually practicing safe guidelines once you did go there. Because I am somebody that likes to eat out or whatever the case may be. Because during the week, I'm always cooking. So on the weekends, I like to eat out. But me going into a restaurant, making a reservation and them letting me know, hey, these are our guidelines. You must wear a mask or whatever. Anytime you're walking through the facility, only time you can take it off is when you're sitting down. There was no one at the table next to me. It was social distancing, whatever. I felt okay about that. I felt more comfortable. But now that there are no guidelines, and if you're not going to require people to wear masks, anybody can just walk by you, whatever the case may be, that is going to be a little different for me versus, you know, them allowing that. So it's going to be interesting to see how businesses handle this. Like,
but they've clearly told you from the jump, like Dr. Fauci, all the experts have said, even if they were social distancing in restaurants and tables were 6 feet apart, that the likelihood if somebody has COVID in there, if you contracting COVID is very high. Like, it's not a moderate risk, it's a high risk, an elevated risk. So you're already taking penitentiary chances at the 6 feet apart.
Right. I just think you're going to take a penitentiary chance, period. Unless you are somebody that stays in the house all the time, you just walking out, going to, yeah, some people may do that, you know, but my life is not like that. You know?
Of course, you're taking everything that you do, there's some type of risk associated with it. So the thing of the matter is that while I wear my mask, some people are not going to wear their mask, whatever. Some people gonna go sit in a restaurant and they gonna go to the club and they gonna kiki and they gonna drink, and I'm not doing that. But if that's what they want to do, I still may encounter them in Kroger or Walmart or wherever I'm at. It's still a possibility that you're going to be exposed. But going back to the statement about the vaccine in regards to letting people go, we're gonna wait and see what happens. See, what's gonna happen is that by the time you decide you want to get it, it ain't gonna be none there except for Johnson & Johnson.
Oh, don't get them.
I'm just telling you, that's what's gonna happen. Why do you think that all of these people have already been in line and it's disparities in who's receiving them based on race? Because they already know that when it comes down to it and the supply dries out, who's gonna be stuck with the boo-boo kind?
Mm-hmm.
Well, truth be told,
the young folks and the black folks.
Truth be told, you know, we are not the first one raising our hands to actually take the vaccination. And
Right.
I'll be the first to admit, I'm definitely not standing in line as of any time soon when it becomes available. But, you know, I think it's a level of comfort when it comes to it. And when people are ready and prepared, they will. But you have a lot of people who are going to, or a lot of companies who are going to be working on constantly supplying those vaccinations. I just spoke to actually someone yesterday who was talking about they got a contract for like 2.5 years to actually administer vaccines. So, you know, I don't think it's going away. But it's just everything that all of you have said is truth and it's facts. And I've been called the COVID queen. I will take it. But, you know, to some degree, I think there needs to be a healthy balance. But with people being irresponsible, I'm certainly going to not put myself at greater exposure for someone who doesn't care as much as I do.
Absolutely.
So
I'm going to go to the comments for just a second. Let me go to the comments for just a second.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I just want to address this really quickly.
But it's just
With Nikisha says, I get that, Tamika, but it's also, it seems unfair for those of us trying to be responsible as far as like people not doing what they're supposed to be doing. But then she also says, honestly, the inequities are already there. White people are coming into our communities and taking up the dosages. And literally before we got on this call, I was on a call with another one of my sorority chapter members, or older chapter member, and she was talking about all the lines of cars with different tag counties that were in our community getting the vaccine. And I'm like, literally taking from the people in that community who desperately need it because the numbers are high. You're coming 3-4 counties away to come and get this vaccine. Like,
I saw on
and
the
it's never us
news,
doing it.
in the news here in Jackson, there was a guy from Michigan who, him and his wife, they were looking for the vaccine, and they they were driving 14 hours down here to get it, but the storm hit and they had to turn around. There was nobody, administering, but they were coming all the way from Michigan. So, because they couldn't get an appointment there, and he had pre-existing conditions.
Is that the guidelines are different.
Yeah.
For instance, here, if you got a BMI over 30, you qualify for the shot. So essentially, everybody that's in Mississippi can get a shot, pretty much. So the demand is making it go up for people to get the shot. So the issue is the other thing is they don't check your ID or anything. They just check your little SKU card or whatever to see if it's you. They ask you if it's you and verify your date of birth, and that's it. They're not checking your license. So, I mean, you could be from anywhere. Technically, nobody is a gatekeeper as far as keeping you from getting it. But yeah, it's
Right.
basically like every state is different. Like I know in Georgia, like certain people qualify and certain people don't. Like they just started saying teachers could get it here, but really, if you got the BMI over 30, you could have got the test on day one. I mean,
Right.
gotten the vaccine on day one.
Right. Yoli says in Massachusetts, they aren't even having enough people sign up for it and worry the shelf life is going to expire. That was on the news last week. And then Nikita says they're not turning anybody away. We initially thought that the problem would be Black people and mistrust, but it is access right now. And that's what we're seeing is like, you're having trouble. People are having trouble even trying to get the vaccine, like have access to it, versus you've got people driving all over the country to be able to get it. And I'm like, okay, if you don't have it in your area and then you come to somebody else's area, now you're creating a disparity and supply and demand issue in that area. It's really crazy. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, for right now, I'm fortunate enough to be able to work from home and stay in my house and not have to leave. But I don't know how long that's going to work or how long that's going to last. At some point, they may say, hey, you got to come back to the office. You got to come and do this. And I'll have to make a decision because I don't want, this is the first time since I've been at a job that I haven't been sick in my life of working. And it's because I haven't been in contact with other people. So I'm not in a rush to go and change that when I'm used to having sinus infection, strep throat, flu every single year. And this is the first time I have it. I'm like, okay, I don't want any of that stuff. So I think about it and I look at the way that all these things have been happening and it's scary. I swear it's like something out of an apocalyptic film. Like we're literally watching the Book of Eli or something crazy. And it's like, are they really gonna do this every episode? Each week it get crazier and crazier. You're just like, I cannot believe this. And then here we are. Literally next week will be a year to the date that our whole existence shifted and changed. And we're trying to like wrap our minds around it. Stacey says here in Tennessee, they are leaving the vaccines out to go bad while there are people on waiting lists to get the shot who are qualified to get it. And that is insane. Just the thought of that, like, breaks my heart because there are so many people. And I personally would feel guilty right now with being a person who doesn't necessarily need it to go and get it when I know that there are elderly people and people who are, you know, out there working. If you're the Dollar General worker and you're like making sure that you're at work every day so I can go get what I need to get, you probably need it a little bit more than I do because I'm coming out once a month and you're there 7 days a week. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be the person that's taken from somebody who needs more, in my opinion. But I look at it and I'm like, this is some crazy, like I said, apocalyptic film type stuff. Any closing statements on it before we move to our next topic? Because I feel like this one kind of leads into the next. Any closing statements?
I just had a question. I just had a question that as it relates to the mandate. So if a business is electing to tell you that you have to wear the mask, as a person coming into a business, can they say, well, it's not mandated? What overrides what? Does the mandate override it, or does the personal business, their policy overrides?
The business owner has the ability to refuse servicing. I mean, it's no shoes, no shirt, no service.
No second pants, no service. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. And people are accustomed to being turned away for those types of things. So a mask shouldn't be something that makes
different kind of people, because this is a different population that's probably not mad. They entitled, so they might be mad.
They get mad at the courthouse because they're still mandated by the Supreme Court. And they be like, what do you mean I have to have a mask to come into court? I pay taxes here. This is my courthouse. Yeah.
No, sir, it's actually not. But thank you. You don't get to do that. So yeah, these folks are crazy. But that's the end of the statement. Folks is crazy. Wear your mask. Be safe. Take care of you, boo-boo, because ain't nobody gonna take care of you for you. So with thinking about that, are we gonna ever get another hot girl summer?
Yeah, you can do one.
At your house.
Like when? You said at your house, McKee?
What you gotta do?
In your backyard.
You gotta rent a place. Everybody gotta, if you hadn't, take your little test before you go and quarantine right up until it's time to go. Then when you go, you make sure you bring all your food. You cook at the house or order takeout and have little activities. Like if you're going to do the beach, go make sure wherever you stay is like a private beach right behind where you can walk out. You got your own little area and you're not sharing, and you can't go to the park and go ride go-karts and stuff like that. But
Tamika, that's fun. That's cool. But that's a girl's trip. That ain't no hot girl summer.
Yeah.
What you talking about?
That's a hot girl summer, COVID style.
COVID style.
That's COVID style.
Well, you gotta write those steps down. We need those steps to share. I need you to write that down and send it to me so we can push that out, because people need to know steps to having a hot girl summer in quarantine.
Yeah, I mean, now it's just a matter of you got to figure out a way to still enjoy yourself, but do it in a safe way. It's the same way as if you decide you're gonna go to a restaurant, you're not gonna go in the one where everybody's sitting shoulder. We're not going to the Waffle House and we all sitting at the little bar.
Can we get takeout?
Yeah, no, we can get takeout, but we're not all gonna sit at the little bar right there by the cash register with a whole bunch of strangers.
Right.
We're not gonna do it.
So Michelle, how would you describe your hot girl summer? So we gotta create that.
Listen. I'm the one person on this panel that cannot talk about a hot girl summer, because I probably haven't had one since I was hanging with y'all. The closest I had, D, was this time last year. Do you realize how irresponsible we were last year? This time last year, we were at CIAA, and yeah,
what is that?
The basketball tournament.
Oh, okay.
That's the closest I've had to a hot girl summer, but it was still winter. So I don't really know, but I was curious because it's like many of us live for that time. Like I'm an educator, so I live for that time in the summer where I get to let my hair down. You get to go places, you get to hang out in places you don't get to hang out during the school year. So now you're like, yes, I'm hyped, or we're gonna travel, we're gonna go to Jamaica, we're gonna go to Mexico. And it's all like,
Them folks don't want us over there.
they do not. They do not. They don't want any parts of Americans right now.
We too relaxed.
So we can probably do some things probably after, I would say after June, maybe July, August. I'm hoping things will be a little bit better.
No.
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 Yeah, I gotta get out.
Corona super variants.
I think this is the new norm. You know what I mean? It's just like when the flu pandemic hit. The flu hasn't gone anywhere. We just adjusted to the life as we know it. So I just think it's going to be the same way. This right here just really is kicking us on our faces a little harder. But hopefully with the new practices and the vaccines and things like that, you know, it becomes better. But I think this is it. This is the new norm for our generation.
And it's crazy because I was literally talking to Layla's pre-K teacher yesterday about, you know, those little kids, they show up with their mask on every day. They keep them on all day long, except for when they have their little snack time. They're sitting in corners. They don't know what it means to be in a small group, how we used to sit around that little kidney table. They don't know anything about that. You know, they play with their friends and they've never really seen their friends' faces for more than a few quick minutes or so. Whereas we can see our friend from across the room and know that these kids see each other in Target in a mask and they really don't know. And I'm like, I get, they're super resilient. I respect that. But this is their norm. Like this way of life is what they will know growing up. And they'll likely have to continue to practice that because you look in the countries over in Asia, they've been wearing masks for decades. People get sick. You do not walk out with your face uncovered if you're under the weather. So it's just getting into the habit of these practices becoming normal. When you've got these anti-maskers being like, oh, I'm not going to wear a mask. Those are the very people that have shit dripping from their nose, coughing and sneezing and just touching stuff and all over the place, sharing their germs. Those are the very ones that aren't doing the proper practices. But if our kids would follow those directions and then carry it on, you could see things like this not really happening and us not really having to deal with it. But as far as a hot girl summer, my hot girl summer is sending my kids to Mississippi with their grandmama. And I'm very concerned about that right now.
It's not going to happen, friend.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to do that this year, Michelle.
And now my heart is broken.
I honestly don't mind wearing masks because you can't see my facial expressions, especially when I'm in court.
Yes.
And people on me because a lot of people be in your face and they don't practice the best hygiene. So it kind of gives you a buffer. Like I don't have a problem with the mask. Like
there are a lot of pros and cons to wearing the mask. I feel like servers should have been wearing them from day one. You know, people that's coming to take your order. You know, these are things that we should have been doing anyway. People don't cover their mouths when they cough. You know, certain things, but I don't know what percentage. Even if the mask mandate has been lifted, are the masks the end all be all? Is that the answer to the COVID cure? You know what I mean? So we're putting so much emphasis on wearing this mask. How effective is this mask? I've heard that most people wear the wrong ones anyway, you know, so.
I can't take it.
What'd you say, Quia?
I wear it under their nose.
Yeah, and then, you know, you suffocate, you see people with their nose out and they just have it over the mouth. You know what I'm saying? You're not wearing it properly. So, I mean, I don't have an answer for it. I mean, we just gotta wait and see what happens. But I definitely don't think there's gonna be a hot girl summer, Michelle, anytime soon as it relates to being able to, you know, be out in a crowd and like going to the beach, enjoying yourself, things like that. So that right there, those days are over.
Yeah.
I would say in regards to the mask effectiveness, like I have known people that were going to get their hair cut or hair done, and like the stylist ended up having COVID, but the person that they was working on did not get it, and they both had on masks. So I don't know how it works. I don't know how the particles get through there, whatever. I always wear, like typically when I'm going to the jail, I wear 2 masks. I wear an N95 mask and I wear a cloth mask. Like it's Girl Scout cookie season, so you're gonna see my cookie mask right now. But It just
there was like this pictorial that shows the effectiveness of it. Obviously, the most effective way is somebody being in their house and somebody else being outside. But you know, the next to that is both parties wearing a mask and you still practicing social distancing. And then it just shows like the particles. If one person have their mask on versus the other not having theirs, how effective that is. So it really does matter it's more so from a protection. You can still obviously get COVID and wear your mask, but I think it just kind of reduces that possibility.
A precaution, preventative.
Right.
But you know what? This is what I'll say. Like, I've always been a germaphobe. And if people would do what they should do just from a cleanliness and sanitation standpoint, it would help everybody. And, the sad part is we saw how unclean a lot of people were. When
they go to the bathroom.
Like simple stuff as the washing of the hands.
They're touching the same surfaces. They're touching money. They're touching so many different things that are exchanging hands back and forth. Like, it just, when you think about it, it just makes you be like, oh Lord.
Like at the gym, we clean equipment now when you should have been cleaning the equipment, right?
I told you I had to go ahead and break down and get me a doggone elliptical in the house because I was the only fool in the gym with my mask on and I was about to pass out and everybody was looking at me like I was crazy and I'm like, y'all not scared? And they looking at me like, you a fool? And I'm like, I'm not with y'all. Because when I rolled up one day, it looked like a COVID party. Like, it was about 100 people in there.
Catch a COVID. Listen, now that's the one place I have not been is to the gym.
I always go.
I've been like 10 times because Blair made me go. But on those days when I saw like a whole bunch of people in there, I just rolled on.
Did she just out me?
She did. She did. I wasn't gonna say nothing.
So I don't have to go anymore. Like, it's one right here. Yeah.
Look at Quinn. Yes, you were out at Blair. She said
I just assumed liability over her life.
Yeah.
It just
did. You did. Listen, those things really scare me because, I don't know if it's the being the mom in me and just being terrified of leaving my girls with them being so little or what, but I can't imagine dying from something that I could have stayed in the house. I don't need nothing outside. No offense, but I send my husband out for that. Hey, can you go take care of that?
But what about him bringing it back?
He knows we got a good policy, right?
You send him out.
house.
You send him out, but it's just like you going out because if he catches something, he brings it back into the house.
Girl, you think he don't get sprayed down, washed down, scrubbed down, microban down, Lysol down? In who house? What house? The kids walking out like, I love you. Go wash your face. Go take a bath. Hey, love you. Mommy loves you. Go take a bath. Please don't come over here. When Layla get out the car at school, dropping you in the tub. We're not finna do this. Because I'm not even a germaphobe. I just don't want to die. I don't want to die and leave my kids. I lost a parent when I was little. Didn't really understand why. I don't want to die from something and then they grow up and be like, damn, all she had to do was wash her hands. My musty mama couldn't get her shit together long enough to stay around for us. I don't want to be that mom.
That's the thing, though. Like, I think you're looking at it, and of course, no parent wants to pass away before their children are able to be adults, or you can at least see them and know that they're self-sufficient to handle things on their own. But I mean, anything can happen. Like this last week, a 17-year-old girl walking down the street on Old Fannin Road got hit and killed. Like, anything can happen. It may not be.
You're not making the case for me leaving the house at this point. You're not helping.
I'm just telling you, anything can happen at your house. You can have a gas leak. One of my judges, his son was found dead in his house, 27 years old, gas leak. Like,
I'm glad we don't have gas.
An electrical fire.
It's scary. It's scary.
Michelle, continue to do what you're doing, Michelle. Continue to do what you're doing.
What was that movie where if they ain't die by something, like something else came to kill them?
Final Destination. I don't want to. Tamika, you're not going to put me on no episode of Final Destination.
Pray that God.
Yeah, every day, all day.
Is that you cannot some things you won't be able to control. We cannot control if you pick up, it may not be COVID, it may be some new disease that we ain't heard of. Anything can happen. So
but you do everything you can to prevent it, though. You know what I'm saying? It's like you wear your seatbelt in the car to prevent you from possibly, dying in a car accident. Like with this, you wear your mask, like you get your gas checked to make sure you ain't sniffing on gas and die. It's a lot. It's just all about prevention or whatever. Because no, you never know. It's just one more thing added to the equation of how you can go out this world. But I'm gonna do everything I can. It's just like people talking about health and fitness. I'm gonna eat whatever I want because I could die in a car accident. Like it's the same thing. You still want to do the proper precautions to make sure you're being as healthy as you can. Right. Now we're just adding wearing masks and practicing proper hygiene because I'm a germaphobe as well. I've always been like that. Everything that we're doing now, besides wearing a mask, is what I was already doing. Wiping down at the gym.
Wiping down the shoe, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking when Quia said that, it used to be times where people would get up just like a head full of sweat just right there on the bench. And I'm like, I'm not cleaning up that for you. I'll go back. Are you done? Did you forget to clean your bench? Like, I'm not doing that for you. Did you forget to wipe your treadmill down? And then they look at you like you have a problem. Like, I'm not cleaning up after you. This is a public place. The signs clearly say clean your machines when you're done. It's been saying that, but people have not been doing it. And even now, some people still don't do it.
That's why I have not been, because the one thing what a lot of people don't understand is transmission. And already in a gym, you have a lot of bodily fluids.
All my stuff
So I just have not, I've strayed away. I've really discovered a lot that I didn't even know I was capable of doing in COVID. But yeah.
It's hard, Deidre. It's hard. You wanna be normal. It's hard just really trying to be in this world that's already like crazy and just like not be able to be normal. It's already like that, especially like I don't mind being in the house and I don't mind, not doing anything. But if I wanted to do something, I want to be able to do it without being put in a box. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Tamika, stop. Go ahead.
When COVID first happened, someone was like, Deidre, you're gonna have a hard time because you're a hugger. And I was just like, you know, I am a hugger, but we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna figure this thing out. But it is hard, Blair, like just trying to, I don't know, like to still be you, but be protected from a
right. I'm gonna throw it to Quia. It messes with your mental. This right here can mentally really cause a person to be in a different state of mind, Quia. So what's your take on that? Because some people, this is really affecting them in a negative way. So from the mental aspect of it, not just the I want, I need, I have to have, but from the mental part of it, like what's your take on how everything is going?
Yeah, it's definitely very hard on the psyche. I mean, if you think about like if people are put in isolation in prisons, in mental institutions, it is a very negative, it has a very negative effect on them. So us not having human contact, human interaction can be very, how can I put this? It depends on your perception of it, first and foremost, of like, how do you perceive it?
And I think we have a responsibility to constantly check on people as well, Quia, because you're right, like the sense of isolation is greater than truly being isolated.
Yeah.
Right. And understanding, like I was telling a person, I was telling somebody, I can't remember who it was, and I was like, it's hard for me because I'm a hugger, I'm a social person, I like being around people, I love communicating with people, I love taking trips, I love visiting folks, I love just spending time with people. That's why it's so critical for me that I have this time where I spend time with the tribe, or that I have my time where I do, FaceTime with different friends and things like that, because not leaving outside the house, as funny as I try to be about it, it's still not healthy. Like, it's not a good thing. It's not a good space to be in this piece of isolation, even though I have what other people view as constant entertainment. It also means I'm constantly never not being around the people that I'm around. Like, I'm with the same 5 people all the time. And it can be really, really draining on you. So that does some major things to your mental. Like, it's a lot of things that are weighing in on people that, like I said, we're approaching a year and it's affecting them. And you have to really, like, we talked about, I think in the beginning of COVID, a lot of noise was being made about, you know, the women who are in domestic abuse relationships and the fact that they have been in their abuser's place with no refuge for almost a year now. Or those children who are in homes where they're being abused or mistreated and now literally having very little refuge. For a lot of people, they were upset when schools opened back up. For some of those kids, they needed to be in a different environment for a little while because it was getting unbearable. So I get it on every level. I get, you know, people really being anxious to open back up. I get people saying, well, this is our new norm, so let's just flow with it and try to function. But it's really hitting everybody different. It's affecting people in so many different ways, and we have to be open to understanding that all of us need something different. That's why tonight's Tribal Council is being brought to you by Mindfully Fashion app, because you need to be able to get that piece to help your mind kind of curate everything that's going on, and then get access to other resources like mental health tips, therapist connections, Psychology Today, where they have articles and people you can focus on. It's just a lot because we all need something, and that's one resource that you can use to help you. I use a lot of IG therapy, meaning that I follow a lot of therapists that are sharing their knowledge freely. I don't have to go sit in the office for it. And then I try to find a lot of things that humor me and find entertainment and just talk with my friends and have those kind of connections, because that's important. I'm going to wrap it up because I saw a meme that was really funny to me, and I thought I got tickled. I think I shared it in my IG story. It says, I can't wait to raw dog some air. And I literally fell on the floor. He's like, I just want to raw dog some air. And I was like, what?
What does that mean?
Mask off.
To go with a mask off in a
no
safe
protection.
way, for it to be safe to do it. But I said, what? It just tickled me because everybody is having their own way to cope with things right now. And so just understanding that even as a tribe, I get a lot of comments from people who say, I really like what y'all was talking about, or I really like that you all are doing this. And so even we are bringing hope to somebody. So I appreciate you all for everything that you're contributing to that. It means a lot. I thank you for being here. We are closing in and going to be under an hour tonight. So I'm excited about that because we got a lot of sleepy people on the panel, and Dee look like she about to go down at any time. So we don't want her to go out tonight without making it. And then Blair barely hanging on. So we proud of her for coming in, because I know she's got a crazy schedule. I'm going to beat you up in the morning though, Blair. I'll beat you up. I'll be up already doing my thing in the morning before you get there. But I love y'all. One last thing we're going to close out on. What positive word? Oh, one more thing. Today is the 108th anniversary of the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta participating in the Women's Suffrage March. So we got to give homage to that. Throw up the Delta sign really quick. Shout out to those sorors for making way for us, for our founders, giving us an opportunity to do what it is that we do for women, and for making history and reminding us that we have been dope since the very beginning, because we have. So y'all, what do you got to say? What's one tip you want to give for people as they're dealing with COVID? What's one thing that's helped you kind of manage this time as we get ready to embark upon a year of this? What's one thing you can leave everybody with tonight, McKee, that has helped you along the way?
Definitely for me, I like to clean and organize. I feel like organization is a form of self-care. It really helps to eliminating clutter or decluttering, really opens your mind and to new things. It alleviates a lot of visual cluttering your mind. You're less stressed. You're not as overwhelmed. You're open to try new things. And you're not as stressed and overwhelmed and things like that. So I definitely say, organize, pick a project in your home that you've been putting off for weeks or months, years, and, come up with a plan of action of how you can tackle that space. You'll feel better after.
I love that. That's a great tip. I'm learning so many things from you. So that's awesome to be able to have it. What about you, Blair?
I was actually thinking, I was like, I hope she calls on me last, but I guess I'm along the lines with her. Like, a lot of us set goals. We don't make vision boards like, we used to do back in the days. I would say create a vision board and really try to channel in on some of those things that, like she said, you haven't done in a while. Even if it's, this is a great time to start an online business. this is a great time to just kind of chime in on technology or whatever, and basically come up with different ways to just be successful. So, set goals, do things that you haven't done. So I'm pretty much on the same lines as McKee.
Awesome. What about you, Deidre?
So I've really just tried to listen during this time, like take some downtime to, focus in on the things that are necessary for me to do. And that has helped me tremendously. It just kind of keep me on this path of what's next, keep me going. And it goes back to the goals as well. What are you laughing at?
Tamika,
Sorry, I was laughing at
Tamika.
She gonna be scared when she get off this call.
Somebody finna get it. I'm sorry.
She could at least turn her camera off. Like, what she say?
She gave that classic. If y'all don't get somewhere to sit down and shut up.
Yes, that was straight up Black Mama action. I love it.
And came back like, what are y'all talking about? Listen.
What you say?
Right.
What you say?
Yeah,
What you say?
I didn't even know what happened. Like she was like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Go ahead, D. I'm sorry. One more time. Run it back for us.
Just staying focused, like pausing for a minute, listening to what I need to be doing in this season has helped me tremendously. And then also staying connected, just really touching in, checking in on people. And you wouldn't believe just like how randomly somebody crossed my mind and I reach out to them. And it was like, I just really needed to have that connection. So that helps me too. So I would say those are the positive things for me.
Absolutely. What about you, Tamika?
So,
I'm sorry.
What I would say is this time has been really a time to prioritize and really focus on what's important. Number one, I have a crazy family. I have 3 children and my youngest 2 were in there fighting. So I apologize for yelling at them to tell them to shut up, but they needed to because they were showing out. But anyway, just in general, helping to put things into perspective, because I know in 19 and even at the beginning of 20, I was even the first 3 months of the year before everything popped off, I had been on about 4 trips and had been around a whole bunch of different people everywhere and had been doing busy, just moving along, not really, having the time to say, okay, I need to deal with this. And the other thing is to have the opportunity to really hear from God as to direction, as to how he wants you to move and go. So that would be my takeaway from COVID is just, it's the year of really focus and being able to hear and move in the way that you need to in the future.
I love that, Tamika. I absolutely love that. Just a quick one. Adrian says the Calm app is a great tool to use too. So it's, I think, a mindfulness app, if I'm not mistaken, Calm, and it gives you those mindfulness tips. So that's a great one. Relaxation.
It does all that. Like, it's pretty good.
Yeah. The Calm app. All right, Quia, what about you?
I guess I would say I'm bringing out everything that everyone has stated, as well as what I stated on my Counseling Corner with Quia. It's okay to be a human being instead of a human doing, but know when to be the doing and when to be the being. And I say that because a lot of times we find that we think we have to go, but it's okay to rest and not do anything and relax.
Self-care.
Right. Relax in that, and it's okay to not be okay. So let someone know if you are struggling with being in the house. Because a lot of times we don't want to let people know, oh, I feel bad because I live by myself. I'm by myself. That's how I got a cat. I started getting so tired of like Zoom meetings. That's not interaction. And then my brother was having to go to work. So it was like, I'm here by myself. So I got a cat. The shelters ended up like not having any animals, like from people getting animals. So I think that was a great tip. But anywho, off my soapbox.
I love that, Queen. You actually touched based on what I was going to say, which is I learned the importance of rest and self-care. Michelle had been running, not taking time for anything. Just one thing after another, one project after another. While I still have a lot on my plate, now I'm able to manage it more functionally. And I am okay with telling people no. I have learned how to do that. I've learned how to say, I cannot do that. I don't care if you think I'm at home all day and not doing anything. In your opinion, I am busy, or guess what? I don't want to, or no, and I don't owe you an explanation.
I don't want
I learned
to.
the power of no.
I don't want to.
And no, and I don't want to. It's so powerful.
No, and I don't want to. And I'm good with that. That's big. And then just the power of rest, like taking naps and saying, I'm not going to do absolutely anything and not feeling guilty about it. So that's extremely powerful.
It's a full sentence.
Yep.
No is a complete sentence. That's right. That's right. So, y'all, I'm so grateful for this time with you all. I cherish it every single week. You all are so dope. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning into A Tribe of Dope Black Women this week. We will be back next week. Some of us will, some of us won't, because some of us might be resting, and that's okay. We honor that space to be able to do that. But I'll at least be back, and we'll be talking about, I don't know yet. So we'll figure it out when we get there. Whatever it is, it's going to be dope, and we hope that you'll join us, and it'll be dope having you on our panel as well. Y'all have a blessed night, and no matter what you got going on, by all means, whatever you do, please protect your energy. All right? It's the energy for me. Y'all have a good night. I love you.
You too. Bye.
Bye.